Mental health is an avoided subject. Even in today's society, it is a topic that many people don't want to address publicly. People tend to avoid this topic due to fear, judgment, and possible hospitalization. Even me personally, in my 20s, I went through a very traumatic situation about 10 years ago, and I started to suffer from depression and even suicidal thoughts. And for me personally, it was hard to open up about that. This happens with a lot of people. According to the National Alliance of Mental Health, 43.8 million Americans suffer with some sort of mental health issues each year. Things such as anxiety, depression, PTSD, they can affect the quality of life. This has caused people to miss work, to commit suicide, and even to go to hospitals or get on some sort of medication. But we as people, we can make the change. We can make mental health awareness the norm. In doing so, we can help enrich the lives of others and society around us. So let's discuss in detail how we have the ability to make a positive impact for mental health awareness. So I posed the question, how can bringing awareness help this issue? Well, according to the CDC, suicide rates increased by 37% between the year 2000 and 2018. They decreased by 5% in 2018 and 2020, but they peaked again in the year 2021. Even when I moved to Big Screen, I moved here about 5 years ago. It seems like every 2 or 3 months I read on Facebook or read, in the papers, somebody committed suicide. I even had a very close family member that committed suicide last year, so it affected me personally as well. But awareness can lead to empathy and compassion. What we tend to see in today's society is that people lack a good support system. Even me, I currently work at the Big Screen State Hospital. It's a psychiatric hospital, and a lot of the people we deal with, they don't have a good support system, and that leads to negative coping mechanisms such as alcohol, sex, drugs, and things of that nature. So how many times have you felt that you had nobody to talk to when you wanted to open up? So people fear judgment, but awareness can erase the negative stigma and help promote acceptance. So most perceptions today are based on media and fallacies. A lot of times when we see in the media mental health patients, you see them usually in a padded room, they have a straight jacket around them, and they're just talking to themselves and going crazy. But that's not always the case. All types of people can struggle with some sort of mental health. It doesn't matter your race, it doesn't matter your gender, it doesn't matter how much money you make or the profession you make. Mental health can affect all of us. And usually mental health people who have mental health issues, they have been labeled as weak. But I think the opposite. I think if you open up about your mental health, it actually shows how strong of a person you are. So now that we see how mental health awareness can benefit society, let's discuss ways how we can actually become active and participate. So one of the first ways that we can help with mental health awareness is to share your story. And this is the power of social media. Nowadays, you can make a blog, you can make a video, and you can even make a Facebook group. I remember a couple years ago, one of my sisters, she added me to a mental health awareness Facebook group on Facebook, and we were able to share our stories and give each other advice and spiritual advice as well. And it really helped. There was a couple of times where, I shared my story and people were able to help me, and I was able to give feedback as well. So with the power of the internet, you can reach people all across the world. Like this video can be shared with somebody in Africa, in the Philippines, or Central, South America, wherever. It can go across to the world. So another way you can become active with mental health awareness is by volunteering. One of the best ways is to get involved with your time and your effort. And even the hospital I work at, the Big Screen State Hospital, we accept volunteers as well. Anybody can, especially mental health patients, they can benefit from a caring soul. So the third way that we can help with mental health awareness is also donating your money and goods. In Big Screen, there's actually a secondhand store called the Chalet, and a lot of people don't realize that store is associated with the state hospital here, and the majority of the proceeds go to the patients at the state hospital. And so you can also help with groups like Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, and even the Life Center, which is a center in Big Screen that helps with expected young mothers. So the last thing you can do, definitely is going to take the most time and preparation, but you can actually pursue a career in mental health. When I was younger, currently I'm a psychiatric nurse, but when I was younger, I always wanted to be like a counselor or a therapist, and I had no idea that there was a such thing as a psych nurse. But over time, I somehow found the field of nursing. And like I said, I didn't know it was actually an option. And I knew there were psychiatric hospitals, but I always assumed that the staff there were therapists and psychologists. I had no idea that you could actually be a nurse. And if you go to herefortexas.com, it actually lists a bunch of different professions that can help with mental health. You can become a counselor, a therapist, a social worker, a psych nurse, or even a pastoral counselor. So these type of fields, they will give you the professional training to help with your journey in mental health awareness. So in conclusion, to bring things full circle, mental health is a very complicated subject. Just like I mentioned before, this is a subject that many people refuse to address publicly. But I am pleading with you to take the necessary steps to make mental health awareness the norm. Whether it's by sharing your story, volunteering your time and efforts, donating your money or goods, or even pursuing a career in mental health, you have the power to make mental health awareness the norm and to enrich the lives around you. Thank you.